All right, Chelsea fans, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is the London is Blue podcast, and it's a clip from our entire podcast we did. If you want to listen to the entire episode in its entirety, go check it out. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. Full things there. Enjoy this clip. We'll have some more stuff coming out over the international break to keep everyone entertained. But yeah, go follow us on social media if you need. Subscribe, like this video. Really appreciate it. On to the video.
That's probably the way we would just want to jump in, Phil, is kind of thinking about, Chelsea specifically, but maybe academy football as a whole, has obviously changed a whole lot within the UK. Like, what's your read on it? How are you seeing maybe the landscape changing before we kind of jump into maybe what's going on with the specific teams?
It's really interesting because we see sort of the top level of it. We see the under 23, under 18 football, but academy football stretches down to under 9s, under 8s, and not just at the elite level. We're talking across the entire country, down to grassroots level, just kids playing on a Sunday morning or whatever. So the main academy teams had 6 months off between competitive matches. They finished at the start of March and didn't come back until the 12th of September when the Premier League started. They had about a month of pre-season, but for a lot of teams, that was a pre-season of flux. There were some teams that can't use their own training facilities because it's shared with the first team and it's in too close of a proximity. And the same applies to their matches. They've had to play matches at different venues than they ordinarily would. So everyone's sort of learning as they go, and there's been the odd match that's already fallen victim to positive tests or just a safety first procedure, not necessarily at Chelsea, but Liverpool were meant to play Man United on the opening day of the under-18 season. That match was postponed because of a positive test, and it's just like anything else, we're going to be sort of feeling out as we go throughout the season. The younger age groups, so the 15-year-olds down to the under 7s and under 8s, they came back 3.5 weeks later. So they've just gotten underway sort of at the end of September, start of October. They too had a lot of time off, and I mean, everyone's doing the best they can, but it's really hard to know sort of the long-term effects of having such an absence of not just competitive football, but access time with the coaching staff and with your teammates and being in a collaborative and collective environment. We're only really at the start of this.
And Phil, I guess a quick follow-up on this would be, we know that Chelsea obviously had some pretty strict restrictions around Cobham and due to the COVID-19 outbreak that happened back in March. Did that affect the youth teams in any more dramatic way than it affected the first team, or is this, are all the safety procedures and protocols just being followed no matter what age group is out there or how the age groups are collectively in the same building together? Like, how does that all work?
So until the Premier League season finished last season, it was first team only. Chelsea have got the benefit of their site being effectively split in half by a long road that goes down the middle, as you guys know. The right side, as you drive in, is for the first team. The left side is for the academy, and it's such a vast premises that you can use some of the pitches further away from the entrance and distance effectively. But because the Premier League season finishing was the be all and end all, there was a bubble. And there were strict protocols across all 20 Premier League clubs for that not to break. And so when that season finished, academy boys were starting to come back in. So you start with the 23s and 18s, and then you drip down to the younger age groups. And slowly but surely they started to open it up a little more. So the first game of the season was strictly behind closed doors. The first home game was then your players were allowed one family member per player to watch. And risk assessments are being done all the time, and it's just a case of taking it one match at a time and trying to just open up a little bit more while still maintaining the strict protocols that have been put in place by the club.
It's a balancing act that just as like I think the youth league is really starting to click. Things are going. We're starting to get more on TV. Some more publicity. Then obviously the pandemic hit. Same thing with women's football, and things have definitely taken steps backwards. A lot of things have in life, and the hard thing is for these guys, they're in American terms, in high school, looking to get recruited for that first pro contract, and like many Division 1 athletes, 2 and 3 right now in America, they don't really know what this season's gonna be like. Do I play? Do I not play? Do I get a free year? Like, how is this gonna work? And so a lot of the same concerns and issues exist with this group. It's just, different terminology, essentially. Same situation.